Hey guys, I'm here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to another kind of talking head video about a update of League of Legends. You guys have been really enjoying these videos recently, which is really cool. So what I'd say, if you are enjoying them, make sure you hit a like on the video and all that good stuff. But obviously, we've recently covered the behavior update that Riot gave, then we covered the ranked update that Riot gave, and now we get to talk about the new champion roadmap. What new champions are coming in the foreseeable future, or even the near future in some cases. So, I by the way have gone through this before, but I am streaming right now, and my stream was like, oh, can you do an opinion about it? And I was like, hey, let's make a video. So later in the video, if anybody in Twitch chat has got questions, I can kind of go to them, and maybe some of you watching the video have kind of the same questions, so I think it could work out quite well. So you've got a dreamy jungler, a masked assassin, a thrill-seeking marksman, plus who is next to get the next VGU, which obviously is in essence what just Volibear had, like a full update. And obviously there is a question that some of these updates are more successful than others, but yeah, let's get into it. So now that Fiddle and Volibear are all done, it would be a good time to go over what champions next. And the next 3 champions that are in development. And worth noting, these champions that are in development, I can tell you guys probably now, the next 1/2 champions are probably going to be ready to go, like pretty much ready to be on the PBE, because they won't be announcing it until they know they're confident it's ready to basically go in the next month. And I'll say later in this video, later in this update, they do say we're going to be learning a lot more about them in a month's time. So that's kind of cool. Adapting our approach. As I mentioned, it's the start of basically the season. We'll be focusing on new champions for the rest of the year. Back in 2018, there were a lot of new champs in need of a lot of champs in need of reworks. So we put our resources into bringing Swain, Aurelia, Nunu up to modern standards. Since 2018, we've updated 12 champions. So we feel like we've gotten through most of the champs in critical need of VGU. I would probably disagree with that myself, and this is where you guys can give your opinions. I think there's way more champions that would probably require a VGU. Also, Sneaky Pie, thank you much for 5 months of sub. So, and yeah, worth noting, yeah, they didn't mention Akali in that list either. But just to name a couple off the top of my head that I think are, and worth noting, in critical need. Udyr, Skarner, Quinn, like those are instantly 3. I even think Shyvana, who was on last year's, could actually be done. I honestly think that they could split Shyvana into 2 different champions, and I think that would be cool. Like, have an actual dragon. Like, you've got Aurelion Soul, but Shyvana could be a different variant of a playstyle of an actual dragon, and then you could have her more human form as a different champion. I honestly think Shyvana could be 2 different champions, but that's just me. But I honestly think there are still, people in Twitch chat, Tryndamere, Trundle. Trundle's okay. He actually did get an update. But there's a bunch of champions that, and worth noting, these aren't like, oh, I'd like them to get an update. I honestly think some of these are in critical need of one. So I think it'd be good if they didn't like stop doing complete VGUs for a lot. But anyway, Magnum Black, thanks so much, dude. But anyway, of course, there are still champs that can be improved, but the amount that they can be improved has lessened. Again, I would arguably question some of that. For one, we thought more about the role of new champions and what their main purpose is in League. The main reason we continue to release new champions is to add new gameplay for people to engage with. The main reason that they release new champions is people have to buy that new champion, let's be honest. For many players, new champions are like mini expansion packs for League, and we always see huge play rates of new champion when they're first released. That's why Riot releases new champions, is because new champions equals people have to buy it with Riot points, new skins. Worth noting, what other game, competitive esport game, has near enough 150 characters to choose from at any given time? League is practically the only one, and you could argue there's already too many champions. So, no, the reason that they release stuff is financial gain, obviously, and that's fine. League of Legends is a free-to-play game. The way that they make money is people buying champions with Riot points and also cosmetics. And obviously, if you're someone like, say, like me, that owns everything, the only way that I'm ever going to get new stuff is Riot has to continue releasing new stuff. And there's, quite a lot of people in that position too. Even if you don't pick them up yourself, seeing new champs in your games adds more to learn and master. I do agree with that. If, you know, by the way, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they release new champions, because, again, the game would get stale as hell if the same champions, literally no new changes or anything happened for like a year. It would get boring. But I also think that there are starting to be too many champions in the game, and I've felt that way for the last couple of years, if I'm honest. And I've said I literally would not mind if Riot was like, okay, this year, you know, let's go 2021, we're not releasing a new champion. We're doing all reworks this year. I honestly don't see that as a problem. I really don't, and I actually think they may really need to look into that, but that's just me. So we're not going to go through all of this, but basically, what is important for all players to get is at least one new champion in their role a year. So this is something that Riot is changing, and this is where you guys can give your opinions. They are now changing how they're doing new champions. So moving forward, I think they might... I don't know if they fully mention it here. So mid lane is the most popular role in League. But in essence, they are going to be... here. They are going to be releasing 6 new champions a year moving forward. So this is like the new update for new champions in League of Legends. They're officially going to be releasing 6 new champions a year. And the way that they're going to be doing that is there's going to be 1 champion per role. So 1 top laner, 1 jungler, 1 mid, 1 AD, 1 support. And they're spare, because obviously it's 6, not 5. It is actually going to be 2 mid laners, because mid lane is their most popular role. And what they're going to be doing is having 1 assassin mid laner and then 1 probably like mage mid laner. So in essence, 6 new champions a year. And, you know, worth noting, like, obviously these champions, like the top lane champion, may not... It's happened before. Oh, we're designing it for top, but then it ends up in jungle. There's been so many champions in League that Riot have designed it for somewhere, but it ends up somewhere else. Like, for example, Zyra. Zyra was designed to be a mid laner. Notice how nobody plays Zyra mid. The community spotted, oh, she's better in support, even when she was kind of balanced to mid. And then slowly Riot also kind of accepted, oh yeah, okay, Zyra's kind of a support. And then Riot have balanced her now to being a support. So just because they are saying, oh, these are 6 champions, 1 for each role, 2 for mid lane, that technically may not be true, you know. I think some are pretty obvious, like, oh, the AD carry... That's probably going to stay AD carry. A lot of supports are designed to be supports, and they will stay as supports. But yeah, I especially with jungle and top and stuff like that, those are a little bit more interchangeable. But that is the brand new straight away update. Let me know what you guys think. Are you happy that we're going to legit get 6 new champions a year moving forward? I don't know what the statistic is off the top of my head. If I had to guess... What, in the last year, how many champions have we had? Like, it sounds crazy, but for me and my stream were speaking about it earlier. Kane, to me, is a new champion. He came out 3 years ago. And I'm like, what? So it's kind of crazy to me of like how, I guess, quick time goes sometimes. So of like the recent time, what we've had Yumi, Set, I can't remember who else has been around, if I'm honest. Pengu gifting a sub. Thank you much, Pengu. But yeah, like, I honestly think we've not had 6 champions per year. Maybe about 3 or 4. And now that they are ramping it up. So even though... Oh, Senna, Aphelios, yeah, true. Even though my standing is I want Riot to calm down with champion releases, it seems that Riot is going the other way and they're ramping it up. Let me know what you think in the comments, though, by the way. But here's a good thing as well. We are also going to be still working on VGUs, just at a slowly lower rate, basically, which, again, they're doing that at a lower rate because they're releasing more champions. I can't stress enough, I still think this is probably the wrong direction. It's a good financial decision as Riot to release new champions. Obviously, that's why they're doing it. But for the actual game... Like, give it a couple more years, man. We're going to have, like, 170-odd champions in League. Like, give it another 5 years, which obviously League will still be around. We're going to have 200-odd champions. That's mental. Like, there's too many. Anyway, so now we can actually move into the next 3 champions teasers that they're going to be doing. So that is the update. 6 new champions, and now we're getting into the next 3, which is going to be pretty cool. Now, I have heard, so this image, if you had to guess, like, if you looked at this image and be like, what's this? I have heard the rumors being this is, I think you pronounce it Yon or something. This is Yasuo's brother. Now, if you're a lore person, you might know that Yasuo's brother, I think, is supposed to be dead. But it has been confirmed he is, I think, coming to League of Legends. So, yeah, Yasuo's brother will be coming. And if you look at all this, it's kind of like the Ionia, I think. It's got that kind of vibe to it. So you're going to have Yasuo's brother in League. Now, I did see a very cool, interesting post, by the way, on Reddit. Oh, apparently he's in LOI. He's in the card game. So, yeah, he'll be coming. I would be really, really interested. Oh, yeah, he's the one that, like, cancels out and does CC, doesn't he? There was a Reddit post that was like, I'll only accept if Yon comes into the game if he's legit a pure counter to Yasuo. Like, brother, I've come back from the dead and I now counter you. So, like, he has a counter to Wind Wall. He has a counter to dashes. That would actually be kind of funny. Like, obviously, Yasuo is a really popular champion. And it would be like, make him the Yasuo counter, because it kind of makes sense in the lore as well if they're brothers and they, you know, Yasuo supposedly killed him, but maybe he didn't and he's recovered and that. It'll be yeah, and then Yon can't get knocked up in the air. Like he's like a samurai that has footwork that can like ground himself and he can't get knocked up in the air. I think that would be kind of interesting. I actually really hope they do that, but that's just me. That would be cool. So yeah, that's apparently this is the hint of him, and I think that's kind of cool. So I think that's basically maybe one of the little hints, by the way, maybe. But the first one that they're actually talking about, dreams of a new jungler. So this is going to be the new jungler, and as you can see, it's kind of like fairy, whimsical vibe, kind of like a Nico going on. But jungle mains have been longing for a new champion for a while now. And by the way, the last apparently official jungler that got released may have actually been Kayn 3 years ago. And people say, oh, but Set can jungle. There are champions that can jungle, but like an actual official jungler, apparently it's around 3 years. So there's that. So here's the new, basically the new jungler is going to be more like Nico-esque, and yeah, I have also heard that as well. Apparently it's a deer as a champion, like the animal, a deer, a stag, whatever you want to call it. Apparently it's that, which is cool. But they couldn't decide if they wanted the jungler to be an assassin or a skirmisher, but in the Dream Dust has settled, and it's now going to be, by the way, a mid-range skirmishing jungler. What does that mean? Well, if you see here, frolicking in and out the fray, so this makes sense. Like, if it's a deer, it kind of is going to be like quite fast and probably bouncing around combat. It might be more of a supporty, potentially mage jungler. If it's mid-range skirmisher, it means it's got some combat abilities, but it's never going to go probably fully all in, and it's never going to be like really far back like a Xerath. It's going to be around, and it's probably going to do a little bit of damage, but then maybe offer aid to teammates as well. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's got a heal or something like that. But yeah, like, it'll be interesting. There's like, well, Ivan, I guess, maybe the closest that this champion might be to in the jungle, maybe. Combine Ivan and... oh, I don't know. Ivan and Victor, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, here is, by the way, a little preview for it. Which, again, the video is actually very laggy, but in the video it should be smoothed out anyway. But Eep, I shouldn't say anything else, but maybe possibly we can find her instead. Be very quiet, though. She can be quite shy, and if we startle her, she may prance into action. So yeah, she's a deer. Darting off as our vision starts to get blurry and hazy. The world around us is becoming slow. No, we have to stay awake, but it's so warm and safe, must sleep. So... she actually could be maybe like also kind of like Zoe, that she could be sending people to sleep. That would make sense by like the little hints that they're giving here. Maybe she takes away vision from them, blinds them in a sleep. That would be a prediction, but that's cool. And that is, well, we don't know if that's probably an ability of hers. I doubt that's the champion. I would imagine that's an ability that they just can throw down a lane, and like a really long range ability maybe. And maybe that makes someone go to sleep if it hits, kind of like Zoe E. But there's that. So that's one champion. And then the next one is an out-of-body experience. Now, I'll say, when I saw all this, I was like, oh, snap, they're doing another Darkin. I will say, it's being confirmed, this is not a Darkin. And I'm like, really? But anyway, did I fall asleep? Am I dreaming? The last thing I remember was purple dust and the sound of someone skittering away. Where am I? I feel a presence inside me. Something dark yet dormant, something I subdued, is a masked figure in the distance, me. I am holding 2 weapons. So I was like, this has to be a Darkin. The whole thing with Darkin is, 2 weapons and it has a spirit in it. It's been confirmed it's not one. I recognize one of them and the presence inside me recognizes another. How is this not a Darkin? I temper my rising anger into something cold, like the steel in hand. Suddenly, I feel a spiritual tug from the direction of the masked figure from me. The tug becomes a yank, and I feel my subconscious pulled towards my body, accelerating until I slam into it. So, this is the new assassin, everybody. So, and yeah, it's not a Darkin. Like, so I'm really shocked. And if you're like, Huz, how do you know that? Well, apparently on Twitter. So someone said, oh, Darkin, and one of the designers was like, not a Darkin. There have been other rumors, by the way. This actually could be Yasuo's brother. The reason why, and I know I said earlier, like, this is his hint. Some people have said maybe this is actually Yasuo's brother, because if you think about it, he's actually said, like, did I fall asleep? Am I dreaming? It's kind of like when he got killed from Yasuo, he's now waking up, and he's only been woken up because he's been infected by something. So this could be Yasuo's brother instead, and he's been resurrected in kind of like a dark magic kind of thing, and with 2 weapons. So one will be his old samurai sword like he has with Yasuo, like Yasuo's samurai sword, and then one is this like dark magic sword. That would be cool. Like, if I'm honest, I actually hope that this is Yasuo's brother Yon, and I hope they've kind of gone with a cool lore thing, like, yeah, he got killed, but he's coming back, and he wants his revenge. I think that would be kind of cool. I think that would be really, really, really cool. Let me know what you think down below. But anyway, whoa, what just happened? I feel like I just stepped out from another world. You know, literally like the death world. He was dead, and he's now been resurrected. Or perhaps a tale told long ago. Now that I'm back, let's get back to the roadmap. So this is someone that's died, and he's now back. And the only thing, and the rumors are, Yasuo's brother. To me, it makes sense, man. It makes sense. After the jungler will be releasing a new assassin, you'll get the chance to form bonds with both of these champions in a big summer event coming next month. So, yeah, worth noting, both of these champions, you're going to learn more about them next month. They may be linked, you never know. Like, maybe the whimsical deer champion has something to do with resurrecting this person. You never know. It's possible, because why else are they going to release them and kind of announce them officially at the same time, unless they're not... I don't know. It would be a bit weird if they're not, like, together in some way. Calling all thrill seekers. Do you like to laugh in the face of danger? Do you enjoy stringing together abilities, creating stylish new combos? Does the idea of diving straight into the fray, firing a whirlwind of blades and bullets, then hopping back out with a sliver of health excite you? Well, if you answered yes to many of these questions, we are releasing just the champion for you, a new marksman dressed to slay coming in the year. So there is the teaser for this. F-E-D-L-R-A-S. What does that even spell? I don't even know. But there's like a very small teaser for the new AD carry that will be coming later in the year. So those are the 3 champions. So if I'm... To me, again, this is definitely Yon, and I think this is him too. If I would probably put money on that. Like, I think it also could kind of cool. So you've got, again, just as a summary, you got the new whimsical deer, kind of Nico, Zoe kind of esque champion in the jungle. You've got a new assassin, most likely mid laner, that looks to probably be Yasuo's brother, resurrected. And then you have the new AD carry coming later in the year, which obviously they're not really showing anything with him or her, which is fine, but those are that. And then finally, this last little update, the new VGU. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the next big VGU coming to League of Legends is Dr. Mundo. So this will be on the same scale as the Fiddlesticks and Volibear and Scion and Gangplank, completely reworking him, obviously making him look modern and changing his abilities. Now, again, Riot have said they're going to be toning down these reworks, but I would imagine the champions that are going to be now getting reworked, by the way, are going to be relatively the same type of champion, if I'm honest, like if I had to guess. And they're going to be stat check champions. What I mean by that is Mundo, no offense if you are a Mundo player, like I've played Mundo, by the way, he's not that skillful to play. And there are a bunch of champions like this in League. You know, we mentioned some earlier, but like Udyr, Master Yi, Tryndamere, there's not much to these champions other than their raw stats. Like, they just auto-attack a lot. They just fight, you know. There's not a lot of skill expression to these champions. It's more just decision-making and stat checks. I imagine all of the VGUs moving forward in League are going to be phasing out these type of champions. So giving them more complexity, giving them more layers other than just having stats and just standing still and auto-attacking. So Mundo is first. And then, yeah, honestly, expect stuff like Master Yi, Tryndamere, Udyr. Expect those, like, really do. And I will say, I honestly would not be surprised if the champion after Mundo, I would not be surprised if it's Master Yi. The reason why I say that is Master Yi has always been a relatively problematic champion for Riot to balance. Because in lower ranks, he's overpowered because people don't chain CC him. And in higher ranks, as an individual champion, he's never been that useful. But nowadays, as we've probably all been aware, there is such a thing called funneling. And nobody likes funneling. Riot has tried their best to get rid of it, but it's just hard to do. So when you've got like a Master Yi jungle and a Taric mid laner, and they're just doing that every game, and there's still players that do that, the easiest way just to get rid of it is just rework the champion, as crazy as that sounds. So I honestly would not be surprised if Master Yi is next, because he is the main funneling champion of League. You know, Taric obviously is there too, but Taric is interchangeable. I have seen people do funnels without Taric, but they still have the Master Yi. It seems that the Master Yi is the more core element to it. So with the Riot, I would imagine going off more basic champions, phasing those out with just like, you have to know Riot's internally are probably like, how do we get rid of funneling? Well, instantly, that's a way of doing it. Just rework Master Yi to a point that he's a new champion and he can't really do the funnel strategy anymore as the new champion. But that is it, everybody. That is it. Those are the big updates for the June roadmap. So again, as a summary, we're getting 6 new champions a year. 1 for each role, but 2 for mid lane. Then we've got the new Dream. Like, it's very much, she's definitely going to be something about sleeping and stuff. Dreams of a new jungler. So a jungler that's going to be a mid-range skirmishing jungler that probably will make people fall asleep. You then have the assassin that looks to potentially be Yasuo's brother. And then you have the new AD carry. And then you also have the next VGU, which will be Mundo. And worth noting, this isn't anytime soon. This is scheduled for 2021. And obviously, crazy as it sounds, we are already halfway through the year. So that's probably not going to be that long. Like, for example, these 2 champions are the next 2. Maybe these 2 will be released in August. Maybe one of them will be released in August. One of them may be released in September. And by then, the AD carry will be out in probably November, and then by then the season's over, and then it's nearly 2021. Like, this year is going very fast. Considering what's going on in the world right now, it's going very fast. But that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, I actually enjoy doing these talking head videos. I've been looking over at Twitch chat, and they've just been, I think, mainly agreeing with what I've been saying and kind of giving their own opinions and that. And what I want for you guys is to throw your opinions down in the comments as well. And what I will say is, I think I actually have a couple more Riot partner, League partner codes. If you want to get yourself entered to win one of those, all you got to do is be a subscriber, like the video, and give your opinions about what you think about this. You can talk about all of it. You can talk about just one part of it. Give me your opinion, and I will pick a winner in the next couple of days. Just make sure you include your region and your summoner name, as obviously that's how I get Riot to throw the code at you. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time. Peace.